My favorite channel for finding new clients is cold email. Making a list of the people you want to work with, sending them a targeted message, and waiting for them to respond, and then selling to those people. Typically, those people are either Golden Geese companies between 5 and 150 million in revenue, or larger corporations over $1 billion. But if you've been following the process, and you haven't yet joined Email 10K, so you don't know the answer to this, you might have found that you go after these Golden Geese companies, and one of the first questions they ask is, have you done this type of work before? Or if they don't ask that, they think it, and it turns into a not interested response. So if you're getting a lot of not interested, or you're getting a high open rate but no responses, stick around, this will help you. This video is brought to you by Email 10K. Learn how to book meetings with billion-dollar brands and take your company to the next level at email10k.com. When I started, I had no case studies, and it was very difficult to get clients when I had no case studies. I had to work my way up, I had to work for cheap, but now I figured out a way to instantly get case studies, or to get them way, way faster than the 2 or 3 years it would typically take to get some major corporations signed on to your company. So let's talk about 6 ways that you can get some good case studies for your services business, for your agency, without spending decades of time grinding in the working world. The first thing you can do is work for an agency that provides the same service as yours. So you want to start a marketing agency, for instance. If you go and you work for one of the major marketing companies, and you work and you deliver value over 6-7 months, over that time, you're going to be touching their major clients. And so you're building experience on major brands. Ideally, within 6-7 months, you've also been able to get a win for one of these major brands. And there you go, you can start a business based on those case studies. I did this specifically when I was at the other agency in New York. I was able to work with Tyson, and I was able to work with University of Oklahoma, and some pretty big companies that we then went on to use as our case studies. And we did this with permission. The agency owner was fine with it. And most of the time, if you have a good rapport built, if you're vibing with your boss, you should be able to do this. Although I also prefer to do the ask forgiveness, not permission approach. So I would lean into sending these out and trying to start your own business first before you ask your boss if it's okay for you to start your business. So if you want to start an SMMA agency, which is social media marketing agency, then you would work for one, get some wins, and then start your own. The second thing you could do is do it for yourself. And I actually did this when I was first looking for a job. So originally when I was looking for a job, I wanted just an internship. This is how small I was thinking. I wanted an internship either in San Francisco or New York. But I had no experience as a marketing intern. So what I did is I wrote a book, self-published it on Amazon, and got that to 300 sales. And then I did a bunch of research on agile and lean business development processes. I followed a couple Mixergy courses, and then started a mini startup. It was called Startup Find It, and it was basically a database of all the B2B tools. I didn't understand this lingo back then, but it was basically a database of all the B2B tools where you could go, and let's say you wanted a project management tool, you would go into this database and it would show you the best ones. So I started that, I cold emailed it out to a couple people. That failed and the project didn't take off, but I was able to use that as a case study to get hired at a startup in New York City and fulfill what I wanted to do. So if you don't have a case study and you can't get a job because you don't have a case study, you don't have any experience, you can create your own experience by doing the thing that you're going to be doing. And that was free. There was no money that I had to spend on Startup Find It. It only existed with maybe a Wix.com free website and a cold email that I was sending out. That's the only place that it really existed. I'm saying Wix as the example. I don't actually even remember what website builder I used, but it was definitely either free or like 15 bucks. You can use Wix, you can use Squarespace. There's no need to spend a bunch of money on this stuff. It's only time. And if you're just starting out, your time is actually very valueless. So use as much time as you can, because once you're kicking it, dude, once your hourly rate gets too high, it becomes harder to do this free stuff. If you haven't already, just go ahead and tap the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. You're already here, we do a ton of great content, so just go ahead and do that. The third thing you can do is contribute to social media groups. One thing that I really loved doing in the early days was writing answers to Quora questions. And we eventually used this at the New York agency to deliver massive amounts of leads when our Quora questions would rank. And I'd go through and I'd answer Quora questions. And you could see some of the Quora questions that I've answered. I really like that database a lot. We also posted some Reddit posts where we were talking about our own case studies that ranked on /r startups, and a few other posts like that in social media groups. Right now, a big thing to do is be helpful in Facebook communities. I also met my co-founder Robert through Noah Kagan's private Facebook group after buying his course, 7 years ago. So you could also join the course of somebody that you respect that has people in their audience that are people that you want to work with or for, and you can go that way. For instance, our private community that comes with Email 10K has a bunch of business owners that are working on lead gen projects, or even experienced agency founders that are trying to spin up their lead gen. So if you wanted to network or get hired pretty quickly, one of the easiest ways to do it is to join a private community like the one that we have with Email 10K. Another thing you can do is tap into your reference network. Now, you might think that you don't have anyone in your network, and I thought this too when I was first starting. One of the biggest regrets that I had, and one of the biggest things that I ever said I would do if I became a parent, was make sure I was well connected enough to get my kids a job. Because my mom, as much as she tried, she is a very eccentric entrepreneur, so she didn't really have the network to get any of us jobs. But you compare that to some of our friends where their dads were able to get them internships or whatever. The asset that a parent can provide in terms of like building up their kid and setting them up is super valuable. And my mom is great in a million other ways. This is just one place where she failed, so I'm trying to commit to do that in the future. But your friends whose dad can get them a job can also get you a job, right? If your friend's dad can get them a job, they can get you a job. So just think about who is in your network that you can actually use, and they can be third-degree connections, meaning your friend's dad. You can go that way. Actually, my mom did intro me to her accountant who tried to help. I just wish the network was bigger, is all, or the job got delivered. So tap into your reference network and just keep in mind that it's bigger than you think. And if it's not bigger than you think, you need to go out there and make more friends. Go get a job at Jimmy John's and start shaking hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to just kind of build your network out, and it doesn't have to be these top performing people. Your network can just be like Sal from Jimmy John's, as long as Sal's uncle runs, a major consulting firm. For instance, you don't know. It could be the third-degree connection, so you just need more people in your life if you have no network. The fifth thing you could do is start a YouTube channel. When we wanted to really position ourselves as experts in the niche, one of the things we did was take other marketing agencies and other digital agencies, software businesses, websites, and tear them down on the channel. We actually have a ton of these. I would also get cold emails from random agencies, and I would tear those down on the channel. And that built my expertise because I was learning with everyone I did, but it also demonstrated my expertise. And using that, we were able to get actually a bunch of clients. We were up to $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue within the first 30 days of doing this on the YouTube channel. So creating videos, and not just these talking head videos that you see or what's recommended by the YouTube gurus, but actually going out there and taking real businesses that exist that could be your potential clients and consulting for them for free in public was what worked for us. And the last thing you could do if you want a bunch of case studies is just borrow them. In our course, Email 10K, I have videos of myself calling agencies and within 45 seconds getting them to agree to let us use case studies that probably took them 10 years to get. And the framing and all of that is in our course. Check out Email 10K if you really want to shortcut the line and skip all of the other 5 things I just talked about. This video is brought to you by Email 10K. So you don't have a business idea, huh? Do you want to know what the best business to start is, regardless of market conditions? Check out the free presentation at email10k.com. We have over 200 students that are crushing it using this business strategy, even during this time. So check that out, email10k.com. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe if you have not already. Smash that like button to encourage more of this content on YouTube. Let me know down below, what are some of your hesitations? What are some of your blockers based on what we just talked about in this video? Let's get a conversation going down below. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex Berman.